Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the Frontline Changes report for the past 24 hours, and actually less than 24 hours. Yesterday's Frontline Changes report includes Deep State UA's report, which means that this report actually minus Frontline Changes from the Ukrainian mapping, and it's still a lot of Frontline Changes. So we're going to start off with Voschansk. So over in Voschansk, this one is this is a geolocation. So geolocation of Russian forces. So this is Voschansk, by the way. This Voschansk city in the west north of Serenikove. So the geolocation is around here. Russian forces have advanced in the forest and on the western outskirts of Voschansk city, and as they continue to corroborate the Russian claims around here, the geolocation. These are just a corroboration of Russian claims or invalidation of Ukrainian claims. So some advance around here. The distance probably around 600 meters around there. The next frontline change, we jump on the opposite side to the Pokrovsk front. So over in the Pokrovsk front, we have further updates over in this Pokrovsk Myrnohrad situation. In the south of Myrnohrad city, we have geolocations of Russian forces. So one of them is here, which means that the Russian forces advance a little bit south of this node or hill. And there's another one is geolocation here. This is a bit of an interesting one because this is geolocation of Ukrainian soldiers surrendering to the Russian side. So a whole line of Ukrainian soldiers have surrendered and entered into Russian custody, and based on this geolocation, I will assume that this area here should be under Russian control. It is important to note that this is still a pretty close area. There is a geolocation of a Russian airstrike just nearby. Over here, just an airstrike over there. So, according to some rumors on Twitter, is that the Russians have been sending out ultimatums to Ukrainian holdouts in Myrnohrad, and if they do not surrender, then the airstrike comes. So maybe there is a group that surrendered but the other group did not, and the Russians proceeded to airstrike that building. That could be something that had happened. So we shall see how this goes. The Russians are now on full-fledged clearing mode of the twin cities. So the advance in this this northern one is around 560 meters. The one in the south is around 200-300 meters only. So yeah, still slow progress. It's a city urban warfare, so it's a bit slower. There is also another update. This is based on Russian mapping. Russian mapping have updated to show that this sector west of Hnativka is under Russian control. So that is the clarification of front line based on Russian advance or Russian perspective is 500 meters advance. So that's about it. The next frontline change after Pokrovsk is over in the Komar front. We have two very big pieces of frontline change in the Komar front. So this one over in the north of Dashne, this is based on the geolocation. So Russian forces geolocated over here, confirming that this salient has been taken by the Russian forces. So this entire chunk here north of Dashne is now gone, with the Russians straightening the front line along this area here, which is not a surprise if this happened, because the more important place, strategically more important places like Pokrovsk, Myrnohrad is under siege and is falling. And it would be a bit weird that you're still committing a lot of manpower into defending some obscure and strategically not important place on the front line. So some kind of consolidation to save lives and preserve resources would make sense. But of course, the Ukrainians, from our experience of covering the Ukraine war, do a lot of things that don't make sense. So the advance here is as big as almost 5 kilometers. So this is a very, very huge advance by the Russian forces. still in the Komar front and Aristopile region. This is based on Russian mapping. So Russian mapping have mapped that after the capture of Volshe, the Russian forces advancing towards Aristopile and have captured the entire gully, or geographical thingy in the northeast and east of Oleksievka, which with this entire geographical feature. I was looking for the word feature, but I cannot remember the word. So this entire chunk here has been taken by the Russian forces, as the Russians now going to attack into Aristopile. Oh, sorry, it's my WhatsApp. Again, I always forget about my WhatsApp. So into Aristopile and then probably going to Veliko Mikhailivka. So the advance in this sector here is at least 2.6 kilometers from the Russian declared front line. And north to south is as far as 5.6 kilometers. So this is a very big piece of capture as well, or at least claim. This is a Russian claim, not confirmed capture yet, but it's still huge piece of frontline change. After this frontline change at Aristopile in the Komar front, the next frontline change, let me double check, make sure I don't miss out anything, is over in the Hulyaipole sector. So at the Hulyaipole sector, we have frontline changes. So let me see, Pokrovsk, Orikove, Aristopile, Yabluk. Yeah, correct. So this is the last two piece of frontline changes. Is around Novo-Uspenivsky. This is Okonishe. So Yablukove, Rifnopilia, and Nove. So Russian forces expanded the zone of control. This mapping is based on Russian mapping. So this is a Russian claim that they have a much bigger advance around the road as they attack towards Yablukove. And in between Novo-Uspenivsky and Okonishe, the entire sector here, this salient here, which is it would develop into an impossible salient, has been claimed to be taken by the Russian forces. So the advance from the Okonishe region is at least 2 kilometers. This is just a flattening of this puny parcel of land that is claimed to be that is confirmed capture. So so now it just look bigger. So that's the main thing around here. So that's the frontline changes in the Hulyaipole sector. As you can see, Hulyaipole as the Russians advance in this area here. So that's the frontline change. And yeah, so just zoom out a bit, you can see this one here. These are the frontline changes. So yeah, and that's it. So let's do some calculation. So these are the frontline changes for the past 24 hours, minus the Ukrainian mapping, because Ukrainian mapping we covered in yesterday's frontline changes report. So Ukrainians did not capture anything since the last frontline changes. The Russians captured 81.16 square kilometers yesterday. It was a whopping one. So let's see what's today. 0.74 plus 0.86 plus 40.8 plus 10.98. So total area captured, despite we have already mapped the Ukrainian report to the yesterday's report, is still a 53.38 square kilometers. Yesterday, I did a recalculation, and my recalculation was wrong. The original calculation was correct. A lot of you guys in the comments have mentioned it, and yeah, it's screwed up. Anyway, it's 81.16 yesterday, so today is 53.38. It's huge, a lot of frontline changes, and this is mostly from the Komar front. And the main thing is that in yesterday's frontline changes report, there's basically no frontline changes in the Komar front. So you can see, things eventually will still balance out and come out, and we shall always find the truth eventually. You can't really hide reality for too long. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Press the like button, subscribe. Happy birthday to you if your birthday today. And and I'll see you guys in the next update.